Hi guys, this is BiXX. Welcome to Mentoring Monday. Today's topic is going to be very fun and interesting because I'm going to talk about the first two of the 6 major steps of branding. It's going to be a 2-part topic, specifically how to create your brand in the context of how I created the BiXX brand. All the fundamentals are the same, whether you're creating your company brand, your personal brand as an employee, a DJ, an entrepreneur, or just about anything. By definition, a brand is a name given to a product and or service such that it takes an identity of its own. My personal definition is how people perceive you or your product or your service. So when you see a logo, what do you immediately think of? For example, when I see the Apple logo, I think of quality, innovation, sleek design, a great user experience, and high costs. When I see the McDonald's logo, the golden arches, I think of high quality, low cost, delicious tasting junk food that's not healthy enough to eat on a regular basis. Oops, sorry McDonald's. These companies put a lot of time, money, and thought into developing their brand. Keep in mind that your brand is much more than just a logo. So let's talk about some key steps or questions you need to ask yourself when creating your brand. As examples, I'm going to talk about how I created and built the BiXX brand. Also keep in mind that building a brand is a continuous experience because quite often people perceive the company's brand as the most extreme experience or the last experience. Okay, so the first step is to define your why. It's not about what or how you do it, it's about why you do it. What is your purpose? Why do you choose to do what you do? When I created the BiXX logo and brand, I asked myself, why do I choose to do this? Here are my answers. I love uplifting and emotional, energizing, big and banging trance music. I love traveling and meeting people. I love bringing life's most beautiful experiences and messages into music. I love team building and collaborating. I love being part of something bigger than me. I love creating. I love the feeling of growth that I receive from constantly learning. I love proving people wrong. I love coaching and mentoring people. I love to inspire people, which is the underlying motivation for these Mentoring Monday sessions. I love being trustworthy. I love making a difference in a person's life. Okay, so the next step is, what do I do with this information? Now that I know why that I'm doing this. So the next step is positioning. How do I position my brand? How do I stand out from all the other DJs in trance? Well, I'm a lot older than most of the DJs, so how do I turn this into a positive? In the positioning segment of branding, there are 3 basic questions that we need to answer. 1, what's the exact category my brand is in? Well, in my case, it's uplifting trance music. 2, what is my best target audience? It's really difficult for me to determine, especially in trance music, but generally, it's males over 30 who like an older school emotional style of trance music. Usually people who have made it out of their 20s and now see the value of being more responsible in their life. No offense to people in their 20s. I was a super crazy and wild person who was also searching for answers back in my 20s. 3, what sets your brand apart from other people in the trance scene? So for BiXX, it's uplifting, emotional, and beautiful melodic sounds. Huge, angelic, and emotional breakdowns, then contrast it with a big bang and a melodic drop. My age and wisdom from life experiences. My BiXX core values which include trustworthiness, integrity, creating value for the other person, a service-first mentality, inspiring and mentoring people, and also a voice of reason. Creating track names that have inspirational meanings behind the track. Tracks that deliver a powerful message like Flight of Life, Yes I Can, Unity, Survival, Empowerment, and Take the High Road, to name a few. Empowerment and Take the High Road, by the way, will be future releases. As part of your positioning and setting yourself apart, what's your story? It's important to have a story. Why? People love stories. People remember stories. They remember your brand when it's part of a story. So the story behind BiXX is that I was a stressed out, successful business entrepreneur who sold my company to figure out the next chapter of my life. I asked myself, what dream did I have as a child that I never pursued? It was music. I've always had a love for music. So in short, someone might describe BiXX as that former American business guy who makes beautiful, emotional, and uplifting trance music. This concludes today's part 1 topic of creating your brand. I hope you found it interesting. Today we talked about the why and the positioning of your brand. Next week, I'll talk about the last 4 steps: your promise, your personality and values, social media, and expression. This is BiXX signing off. Remember, it's never too late to reinvent yourself. Cheers.